Harlon, what do you think about the way that the game developed with Minnesota being able to run the ball late in the game and taking it over? Your thoughts about how that progressed?
It was similar to Rutgers in my mind, how they ran the ball. I mean, we held them to 10 points up through 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, kind of didn't finish like we needed to. We've been talking about finish, and we didn't quite finish like we needed to. So we'll just keep talking and harping on it and working on it and try to get better at it. But that's where the breakdown came in the fourth quarter and didn't finish.
I was worried about Caden obviously struggled before he went to Sam. Just what you thought of how Caden played, and then what you thought of Sam in that situation moving forward.
Right, like I said, and a lot of times I hate to just like answer right off the cuff without watching the film, because there are things that you miss on film that you know with the natural eye. So, but I just told some other people in there that you can't always put it all on the quarterback. Although the quarterback, gets the brunt of the deal. But when you look at film, oh, that guy was supposed to do this, so that's why he broke down right. There's 11 guys on the field, and so for me, just to come up here and say, hey, that was Caden. I mean, you got to look at the film and have a good evaluation. True enough, Sam came in and moved the ball. Obviously, he used his legs as well as his arm, and he did a good job. He did a really good job, and we got on the touchdown when he was in there. So, but we'll continue to evaluate and be fair and try to play the best player that gives us an option to win, the best option to win.
What's the conversation on the sideline when you make that decision?
You ready to put Sam in? Let's change up and put Sam in the game.
Who makes that call? You, or is it Jay?
Yes, me. I talked with Jay about it, and then we hey, what you think? Let's go.
Did you see Sam making progress in practice this week after getting some experience last week? Have you seen him grow throughout the fall?
Well, even prior to that, you saw him. He's been working as the backup guy anyway, because Noah's injury or what have you. So he's been working it. You seeing the progress. He's getting better and better and better, learning everything and doing things the way Coach Johnson would like for him to do them. So he came in there and did a great job for us today.
Why do you think it's been difficult these last few games for the offense just to kind of get into rhythm? Is it something that the defense is doing it, or is it at times just you guys are able to control?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination of the defense, the opponent, and ourselves. A lot of times, I always say to the guys, all 11 execute, we'll have a chance to win that particular play. And it just takes one guy, believe it or not, to not quite execute and do what he's supposed to do for a play to be blown up. And then when you watch the film, we could take you out to a film session and show you, you'll be like, oh, yep, if he would have just did that, there it is. So you have to have all 11 executing at the exact same time on one particular play. When you can do that, you give yourself a chance to really play well and do well.
How disappointing is it to get the 2 turnovers early and only get 6 points out of it? I'm guessing as a defensive coach, you look at that as a win. If that was reversed, you to hold it 2 field goals there. Just how disappointing.
Yeah, you definitely want to punch the ball in the end zone in the field position that we had on them. You want touchdowns, and so that is a disappointing thing. But you want touchdowns. And good job by Jonathan Kilmer going in there and making the field goals and getting us points on the board. I feel like we needed to get points, and that's what we did. But you definitely want to be able to get touchdowns when you get in those situations.
Walk through the onside kick decision. Is that your call? Is that
yes.
call? What happened?
It was my call. It was something that we had practiced and worked on, trying to gain that extra possession, trying to just get back in it, and we thought we had it. And it's a good job. It was a good kick, and it was a good job by their guy fielding the kick. But it's good execution on their part and our part as far as the kick itself. And then they made the play. So just trying to make a play and get an extra possession. Yep.
Would you do that again, I guess? Because if you do it, you keep the momentum from the touchdown drive if you know the gamble going into it. So
you always can do that. You can always you kick it off and then you stop them. It's that's part of coaching. That's part of doing it, trying to make decisions. And so if I look back on that, I probably would say no now because I know what happened. But if we got the ball, then hey, great call. So that's part of coaching, and you live with it and keep moving forward.
That's why I thought Ethan making his first career start, how he held up there and playing the entire first half and a little bit there late.
Ethan Boyd, you said, is that what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Yes, did a great job. He has been playing anyway, so he has been playing. They've been on a rotation basis, and he's getting better and better and better. Big man that does a good job, good feet, good hands, toughness. He does a really good job for us.
When it comes to Caden, do you feel like maybe is he getting in his head a little bit? Because there was a few passes that were kind of errant where he wasn't necessarily under pressure.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
Caden.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think is he getting in his head? I mean, I know he's a young quarterback with not a lot of experience, but
So now that would be me guessing how he feels, and I can't do that. But he's a competitor. He loves to play the game. It's we're not playing as well as we want to play, and he wants to play well. And he knows the quarterback gets a lot of heat for things that happen. As a quarterback, as any player, but for sure as a quarterback, you got to maintain your confidence, believe in what you believe in, trust your fundamentals and techniques, and the coaching, and it'll all come together. And that's pretty much for everybody, but then for real for a quarterback because they're under such a big spotlight.
Too early to say you would make a call for next week right now, I would imagine.
Right now, yeah, let's watch the film and let's make a sound decision.
You shuffled the defensive backfield a little bit. Looked like Malik Spencer was in the nickel area and Gross was back at safety. Was that any particular reason why you wanted to flip that up, and how did that look?
Yeah, we wanted to get a bigger body at the nickel position, and Angelo had been playing safety, and so I talked to them personally, him, Mangum, Malik, on last Sunday after the game. I said, this is what I'm thinking, and they were all in for it. They said, let's do it, coach. And so that was the thought process behind it.
Minnesota had a 19-yard touchdown run. It looked like Mangum might have gotten a crack block. Did you notice that? Is that supposed to be illegal now? Or
I didn't see it all the way, so don't let me just comment on that. Something that I didn't really see, but I know he got cracked on, and you can still crack people. You just can't, throw your head in there and spear them basically. But there are legal cracks that you can do, and then we had a crack replaced. There was some other things on that play that it shouldn't even have got that far, to be honest with you, but it is what it is.
Do you expect Malik Carr to be out for long?
Not that long. He has an injury he's trying to deal with, but he'll be back. He'll be back soon.
I think it was Simeon Barrow that got his hand on that field goal early on. You talked a little bit about his decision to come back on your radio show, but what does he just bring to you, to this team, and what did it mean to get him back?
He brings leadership. He brings enthusiasm. He brings toughness. And he's a really good football player, and so he brings all of that to the table for us, and he has respect of his teammates, and so they love him, we love him, and he loves us, and so that's what he brings. He brings a guy that has been here and been through some things with us, and has played well and done really well.
What does what does being on the field for 20 minutes as a defense do to you in the first half?
For 20 minutes? Yeah, we did a good job. First of all, we did a good job. If you can be on the field for 20 minutes and you hold them to 10 points, that's pretty good. And we knew they're a ball control offense. They let the clock tick way down, tick, and then snap the ball. We knew that going in. We told our guys about that. And so that can be deceiving if you look at, the number of plays is really what you're looking at as opposed to the time, because they're going to let that clock count down to inside of 10, maybe 8, almost every time. And so, but our guys held up. I think they did a really good job again. Through 3 quarters, 10 points. That's a heck of a job. And we have found a way to build on that.
Does that to possession time, though, when you get late in the games and fourth quarter start to wear on guys?
It can, because it's too much time on the field. It can, absolutely. And so that's why we got to, have complementary football. And the offense is also doing their part as well, and special teams, and as well as the defense.
Just wondering about your messaging, Harlan, after just how you address these guys this time. I know you've been in some close calls. And is it getting harder to come up with stuff to say, I guess, or just how do you feel like to reach them?
I can tell you this: it's not something pre-planned, obviously. And I just start talking, and I just think about I'm a natural encourager. That's who I am. And so I'm always thinking in positive lights. And so I just told them, hey man, we got one more home game, Spartan Stadium, the Woodshed, our seniors' last home game. against a team that we feel like we should be able to compete against. All right, and so let's send the seniors out right. That's one thing I said. Another thing I said was, it's the month of November, and most times in the month of November, you say November is for contenders, as the old saying, right? Now, although we're not contending for a championship, we are contending for Spartan pride. We're contending for Spartan Nation. We're contending for our team, the team that we have in that locker room, just to play really well. And so I said, yeah, let's go 4-0 in November. Let's go 4-0 in November. And that's the mindset where we are right now. A lot of teams in the history of Michigan State haven't gone 4-0 in November. And so we would have that opportunity to be able to do that. So let's try to take advantage of that opportunity, regardless of who we play. We just got to learn how to finish and be disciplined in doing it.
I think we got one more from Matt.
Jordan Hall obviously continues to progress, couple sacks, forced fumble today. What you thought from him and Chance being a true freshman going against a pretty talented receiver there a good portion of the game?
They're going to be really good football players here for a long time. Jordan Hall and Chance Rucker, like you said, two true freshmen that are playing a lot of football for us. And really glad they're part of our team. And I just can only imagine how good they'll be next year. They'll be even better after another year in the weight room and eating right and all those type of things, getting stronger and faster. So, yeah, the future is bright for both of those guys.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.